Hey guys, this is my daughter-in-law's Day of the Dead apron. I need to do dishes. Hey guys, this is Tamara with Blodgett. Anyhow, I'm over here at my daughter-in-law's house and I just wanted to be really faithful to getting my video in, and this is episode 6 of living in Mazatlan, and I wanted to do a little bit more daily life type of thing. If you're thinking about moving to Mazatlan or you're thinking about moving to Mexico, I'm certain you're wondering how you would spend your daily life. And it really depends on where you're at. Are you working from home remotely? Are you wanting to go down there as a retiree? Are you working there part-time? It just really depends. For me, I work full-time, whether I'm in Mazatlan or I'm in the States, and Hubs is retired, so he doesn't have to work, but he keeps himself busy. Anyway, I'm out here with the ducks and the chickens. I like it. The first thing you have to understand is that learning some Spanish is not necessary, but it's super helpful. If you want to communicate with the local culture, knowing some Spanish, especially your numbers, and understanding math and conversion from USD to the Mexican peso is essential. So go ahead and study that. Duolingo is a great free program that just gives you the basics so that at least it seems familiar. If you don't understand what they're saying, they don't understand what we're saying in regular pacing of English either. Like, they're not speaking quickly to you, okay? They're not. They're actually slowing it down. And I can tell now, I speak Spanish just well enough to tell that when they understand that my Spanish is not perfect and I'm not fluent, that if they slow down and they're more clear, I will understand all of it. And I know now when they're doing it. And when I first started, I was like, oh my God, they're so fast. No, it was just that I couldn't understand the Spanish well enough at that time to even tell that they had slowed it down. So learning Spanish, Duolingo, it's free. I'm going to link it below so you know what program I'm talking about. What else is super cool to learn? The clothing down here down in Mazatlan anyway, is super inexpensive, but the fit might be off if you're out of the range as far as a woman goes for height or anything like that. I find almost nothing fits me down there because I'm so tall. All their clothing is structured for women that are about 5'2". So if you're under 5'5", it's going to be fine. If you're over 5'5", there's going to be varying degrees of it doesn't fit. Shop at thrift stores in the States and bring it down with you in the suitcase every year. That's what I say. What else do I do? We have kind of a routine. We have a watering hole that's not too far from our condo. We like to go and enjoy tequilas at least once a week, and we go out dancing and have dinner and stuff with our friends that live next door, Ann and B. So beachcombing at least once a week. I always take a walk there. It's a little bit easier in Mazatlan than it is back home, though I found a good loop that I'm doing now where we live in the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest corner. We actually can see Canada. We're really north. And down in Mazatlan, I can walk there no matter what. It's safe, and they've got a huge Malacan, which is a huge sidewalk. It's like 25 feet wide. It's pedestrian friendly. I live in a high density area, so everybody kind of lives on top of each other, and commercial stuff is mixed with residential stuff, which I think is genius, and I'll tell you why in a second. And so I walk there. So I walk every day, and I party, and I dance, and we take dancing classes, and I have all kinds of really exciting opportunity there. And then I do my job too. And everything that you want to do that's probably not affordable in the States, and it involves labor or service, is much less expensive. And I just want to go down kind of the possibilities. So if you like to get your nails done, it's about half or more less. If you want to get your hair cut, if you want to get your dogs groomed, anything that would be a service, electrolysis, for instance. You know, I don't want to ever shave my legs again. And so I get electrolysis. And that's way less expensive. So it costs me, for instance, just, I get my hair trimmed like a couple times a year. I just don't want to bother with it, right? And it costs about 120 pesos without the tip. And that's about $7.50 USD. I usually give her 200, and that costs me about $12. And she does a fantastic job. She doesn't cut any corners. She sections out my hair and makes sure it's all equal, looks at me from the front, the back, makes me stand up, everything. Okay, it doesn't, it doesn't cover like a shampooing or anything. She also does waxing. I haven't had that done, but I could. My girl's about the age of my kids, Carolina. I really like her a lot. She's lovely. And then I could get my nails done at the same salon. My nails are naturally long right now, but down in Mexico, I usually get tips, and I just come in every couple of weeks and get new ones. I can get a pedicure. I think my tips, including my nail tips, including the tip, is going to run me about $300. So that's about $17, and that's including the tip. And then a pedicure is about $300. And so for $300, let me say $600, you're looking at maybe $35, including tips for both a pedi and a mani. So you could go in there twice a month for $70 and look totally manicured the whole time. I can also get my eyelash extensions there. I'm not doing those right now because it's just, I had a wild situation happen most recently, and how I looked and my eyelashes and everything didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Okay? You ever have a spot in your life where something awful happens and nothing else matters but just surviving that moment? Well, that's where I was at. So I didn't care about my eyelash stuff. I was going to get the extensions taken off. I was going to get an eyelash lift, which is a very small perm rod where they make your eyelashes go up. And that lasts for a couple months. I was like, that's more in line with what I want to do. So the eyelash extensions are $500 initially, and then they're $350 thereafter for fills. That's very inexpensive because my eyelash girl now is charging $84, including the tip, per appointment for the fill. And it's 350 pesos, so it's like $20 for a fill down in Mazatlan, including the tip. So for me, there's no contest. So I generally get the really expensive services that I can't justify the cost done there. I'll always do all that stuff when I'm down there, but when I return to the States, I'm not as interested. It doesn't do anything for me. So I just decided, you know what? I'll just do that stuff when I'm down there, and I will make do with cheaper solutions and alternatives here. So if you're a service person and that you would like to have those things, Mexico is also a tremendous benefit, if that matters. If you're not into that stuff, then that's not a benefit. And then eating out, as I've touched on before, eating out is wonderful, and they have great food here, guys. It is so superb. But their prices have gotten to be like 75 or 80% of what the US prices are. And it's not very affordable if you're on a fixed income. And I assume people are watching my channel because I am on a fixed income. I will be on a fixed income. If I get to be, 62, like I've said before, I've been very upfront about this. I have only $1,300 coming to me at 62. That's all I'm going to make. So for me, I need to be in a place like Mazatlan. Thankfully, because Hubs has the full Social Security benefit, and he's the one that worked all of our married lives. I have that to fall back on a little bit or augment. But I'm looking at people maybe being single or just trying to get by on their own wage. And if that's your situation, then I need to talk to that. So he and I definitely were thinking about Mazatlan as a long-term retirement place at a certain stage in our lives. Right now we're living, in the Pacific Northwest corner up in Clallam County, and we're making that work so we can be split timers right now. And that's where we're just part-time there, part-time here. And I'm trying to think of what all the dailies are. I feel like no matter what you're going down to Mazatlan or Mexico for, you're going to have a better life. But there's certain things that you need to have sorted before you go down so that you prepare yourself to have that better life. First, it's not a utopia. I'm going to just speak to Mazatlan. I can't speak to the other areas of Mexico because, quite frankly, I haven't visited many, so I've been to Cabo once for a week. I went to dad's house, my husband's dad, down in Hualtuco, which is 1,000 miles south of Mazatlan. And I went there, I stayed there a couple weeks, and so I have these like brief little snippets, but I don't know any place like I know Mazatlan. Mazatlan was chosen for cost of living. ease of getting to it in and out, and its proximity to the ocean. Okay. And it's where we want to be because it ticked a lot of boxes. We're 25 minutes from the airport. The cost of living is reasonable as compared to other places in Mexico. The climate is excellent for the time that we're there. It's quite hot in the summer, and the ocean is right there. And it has the kind of beaches availability that I really like, and I'll tell you what that is. Mainly it's beaches that aren't they're not groomed to death, and they're not boring. I like a beach that's got pebbles and shells and sea glass and things for me to be interested in and beachcomb for. And that's not going to go away. Like, I've wanted a beachcomb and have beachcomb my entire life since I was little. So for me, I think Mazatlan is the place I want to be eventually. And if you like the idea of Mexico, these are the things I suggest you do. I'm going to go ahead and circle back around. Duolingo, guys. Learn some Spanish. You don't have to, but if you're choosing an area where it's predominantly Spanish speaking as the first language, and that people don't know English very well, you need to know a little bit of Spanish. You need to know numbers so that you don't get irritated or overwhelmed or agitated or anxious when you're trying to work with things where you have to buy something. You want to know when they say 200 pesos, it's about $13, $12, okay? You want to know that. You want to know that that's what 500 pesos means, or 1,000 pesos. Okay, it's easy when it's 10 to 1. But you start getting 18 to 1, 21 to 1, 19 to 1, then you have to kind of just have sort of an estimate in your mind. You need to really be able to do your USD conversion quickly. I would suggest Charles Schwab as the bank. I'm out here outside, so there's the bug. Charles Schwab is the bank because no matter how many ATM withdrawals you make, you get the fees reimbursed to you at the end of the month. It's a secure institution. Your monies are also being invested too. And I would get a bank account down there. Right now there's a bank, I don't remember what one it is, but you can get like 10 or 11% interest per quarter. So we're going to be opening a bank account down there this year, and I'm going to start putting a little bit of money in there, because why not? Why not have it do something for me while it's in the bank? And you'll be like, oh my gosh, can I trust that? What's the insurance? Well, there's no insurance really. I mean, there's that FCC or FICC or whatever it is for banks that will insure up to 100. Okay, whoopee. So I'm like, one thing for another. Mexico is as safe as you want to make it. Like, you just don't do dumb things. You don't leave your purse out where it can get robbed. You don't leave your car unlocked. You don't leave your door unlocked. It's pretty simple, right? There's a lot of things to do that if people are active, there's so many activities, guys. I don't know where to start. There's catamarans you can take. There's islands to investigate. You can go anywhere in Mexico for very little money. And they're good flights that are really pleasant and high class, and it's not that much money, and you can go to and visit other places in Mexico. And that's important too. You spend so much less there if you're careful, and you can save so much more. And everything you do has a little bit more of a pleasurable twist on it, because it doesn't have that frenetic undertone that we have in the States of the pressure to produce, the pressure to behave a certain way, the pressure to not ease into anything. You've always got to be in fifth gear all the time in this country. And I find it takes me 3 weeks before I slough off that frenetic tension, that feel like it's just over the top of me, of I got to do this, I got to do that. It takes a while to get rid of that. And I'm super glad I found a place for me to be, and hubs to be, where we feel good about living down there. And I don't know, when we'll live down there full time, but with the condo situation, we can just lock it and leave it, and we're done. We don't have to worry about robbery. We don't have to worry about anything, and we just get back and open it up, and in a half a day, it's our place again. And I do like that. So if you have kids or you have dogs, that's another consideration. Depending on the age of your kids, that's always saucy, but we had our kids down there, and we put them in school. We did all kinds of stuff, and that's also an option. And it wouldn't be bad to bring down your young children and put them in a Mexican school and have them learn Spanish, and then you could speak English in the house, and you could help them with any studies you felt that were kind of slipping between the, the gaps. But I don't find their schools in Mexico to be bad. I'm looking at the United States schools and going, oh my God. So yeah, I'm just comparing the two, and I'm like, well, maybe they're a little soft in Mexico, but it's not like the United States has this great standard of education. And as soon as the government took it over in the 50s, it just went, It wasn't reading, writing, and arithmetic anymore. It was, let's put in all this stuff that has nothing to do with actual learning. It's just become ridiculous. So that's an option. Pets are tough. Pets are an expensive addition if you go down to Mexico. Each one costs $100 one way. They have to have a special health certificate and be up on their shots. And so you go into the vet and basically it's $300 a dog. They've got to be checked. They have to have whatever health certificate they need. They have to have the shots. And then you have to incur the airline thing. So that's a thing every year we have to consider there and back. And then when we get our dogs groomed, it costs us 1,000 pesos, including the tip for the two dogs. So that's costing us about $65, which is about fully half of what we pay in the States. I like our guy Ernesto because he comes to the condo and he does it right there on site. And he's the only groomer we've ever had that's never nicked, clipped, or hurt the dogs in any way. So I really like him. And he, like I said, he just comes by. We just call him and he says, I'll be there sometime Tuesday. And that's very Mexican. So we know Tuesdays is the day that we do things when we have to stay home. We're not going to take off and try to reschedule with Ernesto. That's the big dumb. Anyhow, that's kind of a slice of life there. And I can't think of anything that's extra interesting beside that. We just kind of have a normal life, and we continue to repeat the things that we enjoy, though Hubs and I have talked about visiting other places in Mexico, but and I want to do that too, but I feel like I have time on that because we are going to be living there for a really long time. So we can always see Mexico when we want to, like Mexico City and the Yucatan Peninsula. Those are some of the places we want to go. But I would also like to one day return to the Netherlands. I would love to visit Japan, and I totally want to see Norway at some stage. And I don't know when that'll happen. I want to wait till this election's over with so we kind of know where our country's going and I have a feeling of more stability. But after that goes, then I'm gonna feel pretty good about exploring different options. So anyway, I know this video, you guys, is a lot shorter than my normal videos, but I wanted to touch on episode 6 with kind of what do I do? What's a day in the life of what I do? And I will be doing some shorts in the next, when I get back down to Mazatlan, I'll be doing some shorts where you can see kind of a round of errands for me. I'm walking to this place. This is what I see while I walk. Here's my hair cutter's place, those kinds of things. I'd like for you guys to kind of be with me on my journey, my daily journey. And I find it to be kind of a mundane thing, but I bet you guys might feel like it's something kind of more exciting or interesting. In other words, you get to vicariously live my life through me foreign. And as you guys know, I'm in love with living foreign. I love it because Mazatlan doesn't feel foreign to me anymore. It feels like my home. And it has for many years. And I think it's because Hubs and I got it in January of 2007. That was our casa. And we've been going there every year since then. So this next season would be our 18th season. So it's really cool. It feels like home. And I think home is where you hang your hat. If you like this and you have any comments or questions about daily life in Mazatlan, or anything along that line, or what you think about what I'm saying and how much things cost and stuff, or what you'd like to see for episode 7, hit me down here. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. Thank you.